All stories shared on our channel are original narratives inspired by real-life situations submitted by our subscribers. Each story is written, developed, and published by our team with full creative rights. These accounts are dramatized versions of real events, shaped to highlight human emotions, resilience, and life lessons. We hope our stories bring you insight, comfort, and entertainment. Thank you for being part of our community. When a Man Leaves Quietly. A story of respect, reflection, and release. It didn't start with shouting. It started with silence. The kind that grows like a shadow in your own home. Slowly, invisibly, until one day it's everywhere. You breathe it in. You feel it on your skin. You reach out to hold the woman you married, and she flinches like you're a stranger. That's how it was with Camila. And I'll never forget the day she looked at me. Not with love, not even with indifference, but with burden in her eyes. As if my presence was a weight she couldn't carry anymore. My name is Marcos Vieira. I'm 39, born and raised in a working-class neighborhood outside São Leandro, near Montes Real. I'm an electronics technician, fixing intercom systems, installing cameras, setting up home security. Nothing glamorous but honest work. I've always worn my uniform with pride. I met Camila at a bus stop. She was a nursing student. I had just landed my first job fixing security panels. She laughed at a joke I made about the weather, and I remember thinking, she's different, confident, smart. The kind of woman who walks like she knows exactly where she's going. We got married 2 years later. Then came our daughter Isabella. After her birth, Camila decided to pause her career. She wanted to focus on motherhood, and I respected that. I never pushed her. Instead, I pushed myself. Took extra jobs, drove across towns for weekend gigs, made sure our bills were paid and our fridge was full. But somewhere along the way, love stopped being a mutual effort. It started to feel like I was the only one still trying. First, it was little things. No welcome home. No hug. She used to greet me at the door. Now she barely looked up from her phone. Our conversations faded. Our laughs disappeared. At night, she slept in Isabella's room. Said she was putting her to bed but never came back. Thought it was stress. Postpartum blues maybe. So I tried harder. Cooked dinner. Took over school drop-offs. Washed the dishes. All without being asked. But nothing changed. One Thursday, I finished an installation early in a neighborhood called Vila Esperança. I decided to surprise her. Picked up some steaks. Bought her favorite soda, maracuja flavor. When I walked into the kitchen, she was scrolling her phone and eating crackers. "Hey babe," I said, kissing her cheek. "Guess what I got for dinner?" She didn't look up. "Marcos, I'm tired." "Don't start with one of your things." "One of my things." That cut deeper than she knew. I stayed calm. "I got steaks. Thought we could grill and eat together. Just the two of us." She sighed, long and annoyed. "Why do you always want something? Can't I have 5 minutes without a hug, a conversation, dinner, or sex?" I didn't even mention sex. I stood there stunned. I just wanted to eat with my wife. That's when she erupted. "I don't want a hug, Marcos. I don't want your hands, your voice, nothing. You suffocate me." And just like that, Isabella, our 5-year-old, walked in. Stuffed animal in hand, staring wide-eyed at the storm she couldn't fully understand but could certainly feel. Camila didn't flinch. She walked out of the kitchen and slammed the bedroom door. No apology. No explanation. I stood in that kitchen for a long time, staring at raw meat and the empty space where my marriage used to live. That night, I didn't sleep in our room. I lay on the couch thinking about all the things I gave up for that woman. Weekend soccer games with my cousins. My plan to open a repair shop downtown. I gave up so much because I thought love was about sacrifice. But now I saw it. I was the only one sacrificing. And love isn't a one-way street. At 4:30 the next morning, I showered, packed Isabella's school bag, and left a note. "Taking ISA to school. Don't worry." On the way, she asked, "Daddy, why was Mommy yelling?" I told her, "Sometimes people forget how to be kind." But it's not your fault, okay? That day I didn't go to work. I drove to the local notary office in Centro Velho and asked about legal separation, custody, and my rights under Brazilian law. The clerk handed me forms, explained my options. I listened, took mental notes, thanked her and left. I sat in the car with the windows down, the documents in my lap, and a strange sense of calm in my chest. I had made my decision. That night, Camila came home with groceries. She saw me sitting at the table with the papers. "You're not going to talk about yesterday?" she asked. "No, already did. You just weren't listening." She glanced at the documents. "What's this?" "The next step. Legal separation. I'm requesting shared custody. I'll continue supporting Isabella, but from now on, I'm not financing someone who resents me." She blinked, stunned. "I've removed your name from my bank account. You'll get a fixed amount for ISA. No more Ubers, cosmetics, or personal expenses. I'm not your sponsor." She tried to laugh it off. "You're overreacting. All couples fight. Not when the silence becomes the norm. Not when the affection disappears. Not when your husband becomes an intruder in his own home." That night, I slept in Isa's room. The roles had flipped. She now looked like the one who had crossed the line. I was done begging to be loved. Within a week I moved out. Found a simple 2-bedroom apartment in Jardim Moreno, not far from Isabella's school and my work. Clean. Quiet. Enough. I took what I needed. My tools, clothes, a mattress. Left the rest. She could keep the couch, the curtains, the TV. I was building peace, not possessions. Isabella started staying with me every other weekend. We made pancakes, drew silly cartoons, watched Terma de Lily on my laptop. Her laughter filled the apartment in a way I hadn't heard in our old home in years. Camila, on the other hand, struggled. She'd moved in with her sister. Her nursing degree was outdated. No job prospects. No savings. Reality, like truth, was a cold wind. I called. First just for updates on ISA. Then came late-night voice messages. "I miss when you used to bring me lunch at work." I didn't know how good I had it. But I never responded with bitterness. Just silence. That silence said everything. 2 months later she showed up. Brought Isabella's notebook as an excuse. She looked around my apartment. Said I'd lost weight. That I seemed different. "I miss us," she said. I let her speak. "I didn't mean what I said that night," she continued. "I was overwhelmed. You were just trying to hold something together that I didn't know I was letting fall apart." I stayed quiet. "I feel so alone," she whispered. "It's hard without you." Then came the question. "Do you think we could try again? For ISA?" I looked at her, calm and clear. There was a time I would have done anything to hear that. But that time passed the day you told me my love suffocated you. That wasn't stress. That was your truth. You just didn't expect the consequences. She opened her mouth to respond. "I don't hate you. I'm not angry. But I no longer trust you, with my peace, my presence, or my heart." Tears welled up in her eyes. She clutched the notebook like a shield. "You've changed," she said. "I had to," I replied. "Because the man who begged to be hugged in his own kitchen is gone." That night I sat on my balcony, beer in one hand, Isabella's drawing in the other. She'd drawn a family, me, her, and our dog. "No, Mom. I didn't analyze it. Kids draw what they feel." And I felt peace. Not because I won. Not because she came back. But because I didn't. I stayed on my feet. I walked away without screaming, without begging. And that quiet, that's what speaks the loudest.